What's the first song you'd hear after years of silence? For people with cochlear implants, this isn't just a question. It's a life-changing reality. When Chris heard Elvis Presley after 18 years of silence, he called it a miracle. When Lindy streamed Cat Stevens through her CI processor, she wept with joy. Today, I'm sharing 10 emotional stories of those first songs after cochlear implants. Moments when music wasn't just heard, but felt again. And these aren't just songs, they are the soundtrack to a second chance at hearing. And by the end, I want you to share in the comments, what was the first song you heard with your cochlear implant? When I first asked the CI community about their most meaningful musical moments, their responses were overwhelming. These stories aren't just about songs, they're about reconnection, joy, and the powerful emotions that come with hearing music in a new way. I'll be sharing these stories in their own words, because no one can capture these feelings better than those who lived them. And if you have a cochlear implant, I'd love for you to share your own favourite song in the comments. What was the first track that truly moved you? Our first song is Hello by Adele, recommended by Jessica B. And what did she say? It was the very first song I heard after my switch on, when Adele sang the coincidental words, "Can you hear me?" I screamed and shouted, "Yes, I can hear you." The feeling inside was amazing. Before the implant, my hearing was getting worse. The regular visits to the audiologist became a chore. I would ask them to make my hearing aid settings louder. I would go home and listen to this song in the hope that I would hear it like the way I remembered it. But alas, it did not sound the same. Adele's concert was the last I attended before going profoundly deaf. Since having my cochlear implant, I love listening to this song again, as it gives me the best feeling in my tummy. At number 2, we have the popular classic Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, and recommended by Christine S. This is what Christine told me. When I streamed music for the first time with my bilateral CI processor, this was the song that came on. It was the first time in my life that I experienced stereo sound. My head was swiveling back and forth to the beat, and I was dancing with joy. It amazed me at how good it sounded. It's still a favourite song of mine, although now I listen to everything. At number 3, we have Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, and it's recommended by Katka N. Here's what she told me. This is the song that inspired me to listen to music. It was at high school 5 years after implantation. Our English teacher played this song for the class. He gave us papers with lyrics, with left out words, and we were then asked to fill in the blanks. Due to the nature of my hearing loss, I couldn't do this, so I copied my classmates' answers. But I remember thinking at the time that I liked the lyrics, and the song also sounded magical. From then onwards, I started to listen to music. I have a few more favourite songs. This one has its own special place in my heart forever, and it was also the first song I wanted to hear with both ears after I got my second cochlear implant recently. I'm already seeing patterns in these stories. Songs with personal history, clear vocals, and strong melodies. They seem to resonate most with cochlear implant users. What's been your experience? Drop a comment below with your favourite song to hear through your cochlear implant. I'll be reading every single one. Song 4 is Sunday Morning by Maroon 5 and recommended by Shelley L. And this is what she said. When I had my cochlear implant operation after years of being deaf, I began watching VH1 Music Channel. This helped me in practicing my listening with the cochlear implant, and I fell in love with the songs about Jane album by Maroon 5. One morning I was in the kitchen washing dishes and listening to music. My husband came up behind me, took my hand, and we danced in the kitchen. For so many years, I couldn't hear well enough to feel comfortable enough to dance with him, and it was like a dream come true. Now we always dance together when that song comes on. Song 5 is Doing It Right by Daft Punk, recommended by Corey F. Here's what they said. This is the first song I heard through my cochlear implant that didn't make me feel like I was missing the entire song. I'm a 30-year-old man and I wept for the entire 4 minutes, 13 seconds of the song. The vocoded vocals, they just sound natural through my cochlear implant, and the minimal styled composition and instrumentation didn't overwhelm my electrodes. I could even hear the vocal harmonies. I love this song. Recently, one of the members of Daft Punk, a band that has alluded to robots, has experienced the onset of progressive hearing loss. They have since stopped touring live, and I often wonder if his experiences are expressed through this song. Song 6 is The Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel, and it's recommended by Earl C. This is what he shared with me. At 67 years old, this song has always been my favourite. I could follow and sing along with either Paul Simon or Art Garfunkel, and now 5 years into bilateral cochlear implants, I can still follow both singers. A new rendition of the song by the group Disturbed initially disturbed me, but as I listened to it more, I began to enjoy the intensity of this singer's voice. Not to mention, this song can also be the theme for cochlear implants. Song 7 is Norwegian Wood by the Beatles and recommended by Jill H. Here's her story. I was a teenager in the 60s, and yes, even though I was there, I remember some of those years. Listening to the Beatles' music was the last time I could hear properly. I then lost my hearing due to otosclerosis. In 1998, I received a short array multi-channel CI in one ear, and to be honest, my music expectations were not great. But one afternoon, I was working in my office, and my son was playing CDs in his bedroom next door. He suddenly burst in on me and said, "Mum, are you singing along with the Beatles and with the correct words?" It was a revelation, and I still well up when thinking about it. I wasn't even aware that I was hearing the song, let alone that I was singing along with it. Wow! Even though I listen to a wide range of music now, including new music, nothing can replace the feeling of achievement and joy when recognizing that simple and iconic melody of Norwegian Wood. Song 8 is Moonshadow by Cat Stevens and recommended by Lindy C. Here is her story. This song is my benchmark for music. Loved this song as a hearing teenager. Loved this song with my first hearing aids. This was the song I streamed first from my iPad to my CI processor. The song begins at a soft level. I heard that. And as it gets louder, the bass joins and there's stereo. And I still well up in tears when I remember that brilliant moment. It makes me cheery with happiness now as I type this. In December 2016, I went to a Cat Stevens live concert in Sydney. Cat played this song and I wanted him and the whole world to know what an incredible moment that was for me. Sitting there with other fans, it was all I could do not to leap out of my seat with thankfulness to this technology. I'm having bilateral cochlear implantation soon, and it will be Moon Shadow that I will listen to first of all possible music choices. Incredibly, in my life, I'm able to function as a musician still. Moon Shadow does it for me. Song 9 is My Way by Elvis Presley and recommended by Chris J. This is what Chris said. I went deaf due to medication from being in a coma for 5 months, ex-forces, and I lost my hearing in 2 days. This was the last song that I heard. After my cochlear implant operation, this was the first song I heard. 18 years deafness. Then miracles happen. Song 10 is Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin, and it's recommended by Barry M. And here is Barry's story. This song has a very soft 30 seconds introduction, which is outstanding. At first, after my cochlear implant operation, it was impossible to hear, but the time to hear in this elusive introduction was on the horizon. With my CI processor and Bluetooth for mobile phone, I hear this song better than when I first heard it in 1971. My hearing then was at its peak and undamaged. Today, it is a true miracle that I can enjoy the introduction to this song again. Now it's your turn, whether you are a cochlear implant user yourself or considering an implant. I want to hear about your experience with music. Drop a comment below with 1, your favourite song to listen to with your CI, 2, why this song matters to you, 3, how it sounded when you first heard it through your CI, and your story could be featured in future videos, and it might help someone who's just starting their CI journey. Even if you don't have a cochlear implant, I'd love to know which song you'd want to hear first if you are experiencing sound again. These 10 stories show us something incredible about music. It's not just about perfect sound quality, it's about emotional connection. For the cochlear implant community, hearing a beloved song again isn't just listening, it's a reunion with a part of themselves they feared was lost forever. Thank you to everyone who shared their experiences. And to those watching, whether you comment today or simply take those stories with you, remember that sound is precious, music is powerful, and sharing our experience helps others on their own journey. Until next time, keep listening, keep sharing, and if you have a cochlear implant story, I can't wait to read it in the comments below.